G'day everyone, welcome back. And welcome back to the Mercedes 260e project car. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you like this kind of content with this 260e project car and my own cars, a Mercedes CL500, an SLK 350 and a Maserati Gran Turismo, it'd be great to have you as a subscriber. So in this episode, I'm going to look at a couple of the things that I've done on this car, which I mentioned previously in the other video, which I'll link up here. As I said, when I picked up this car, there were quite a few things that needed doing to it. And so in this video, we're just going to go through a couple of those. And actually, none of them is quite as easy as you think it's going to be. So as I mentioned on the previous video, one of the issues that I was having was with the fuel gauge not working. And so read up on the forums, and the obvious thing that is wrong is the fuel sender. And that is located just here on that big hex bolt there, and there's the plug for the electrical connector. When I pulled this trim off for the first time, I looked at the fuel tank. The fuel sender, instead of being at an angle like that, was like this, vertical. And what I discovered was that something had been put in the boot, heavy, and it had rolled forward and it had dented the fuel tank. So it had pushed the fuel tank in on this side, and it had bent the opening for the fuel level sender to a kind of vertical position. So when I tried to undo this with a pipe wrench and to take it out, it was completely jammed, and there was no way I was going to be able to remove that, and there was no way I was going to be able to fix that petrol tank. So the first thing that I tried to do turned out to be far more complicated than I'd hoped, and so I ended up having to find a car that was being broken. Fortunately, there was a guy in WA. I'll leave a link in the description to his website because he was very helpful. So I got the fuel tank and the sender. I didn't want to install this myself. It was going to be beyond my capabilities. And in fact, you had to have the car off the ground to do the connections underneath, so there was no way I could do that. So my local guy, again, who I'm going to put a link in the description to, that's Abraham at the Bosch Safer Steering Centre in Crow's Nest. He is an absolute W124 authority and addict, and so he helped me put this fuel tank in. And yeah, once the sender was connected, the fuel gauge problem was completely fixed. So this was the other job, which was actually quite simple to do. And this is the heating duo valve. Basically, you've got a single pipe that goes in here. You've got two electromagnets, solenoids with valves that control the hot water going through these two different outlets. There's a simple connector there. These are the little valve parts that are actually inside the solenoids, and they kind of push down to keep the water, close the valve or let them up to release. And these basically just completely fail. The coils in these were open circuit, so they'd rusted away. So just a simple straight swap for a replacement part. I'll show you where that goes. So the duo valve actually sits just down here. Actually quite a simple job, but the awkwardness of it was simply actually getting it in. There are two rubber mounts here which need to be inserted into the brackets there, and getting the pipes on and off was obviously tricky in a very confined space, but it actually was one of the easier jobs, and as soon as that was replaced, the air conditioning started working properly in the car, and so we had no hot air coming out when the air conditioning was set to cool. So 2 out of 2, not so bad so far. So the third job that is kind of still in progress at the moment, but I have managed to get most of it working, and that is the radio. As I said, when I first got the car, this Becker radio was not working, but I found a guy in Sydney who is an expert on these. He was unable to fix the one that came out of this car, unfortunately. It was too far gone to be saved, but he did have another one in stock, so I basically just purchased this one. It's not the original unit, but it is the original style unit. This one does turn on, although I'm having problems with the speakers, but I'm thinking that it might be this problem here. This, oh, hello. This is the fader control here, and I reckon that this needs to be cleaned out, because that, you can hear it's kind of working, but only one speaker is coming on at the moment. But, oh, and now it's just come out of the back speaker. So, yeah, I think if I clean that, I'm going to just turn it off at the moment, or turn the volume down. I think if I take this out and clean the module underneath, I think that will probably fix a lot of the problems with the speakers. And then we'll have the radio working. I can't imagine the wiring to the speakers has corroded or anything. It's probably going to be this fader switch here, which is gone a bit corroded, and it's probably not working as it should. The other thing that I've managed to do linked to the radio is the antenna. Now, this antenna, I've managed to reconnect the cabling. You probably can't see, it's all behind here in the boot, but this antenna had slightly different wiring configuration to the other one. So there are basically just 3 terminals. There's a constant 12 volt, a ground, and a raised and lower signal. So it's pretty easy just to link those up. It's actually not the right antenna for this car. It doesn't quite fit properly here. So I'm going to have to send this back and get the correct one. But the antenna does go up and down when the radio is turned on and off. So we do have that working now. So we're getting there slowly. So that's just a really quick update on the 260E. We managed to fix 3 of the things, which is good. The heating and air conditioning with the duo valve. The fuel gauge unfortunately needed a new fuel tank, but got it done. And the radio is on its way. We're nearly there. Just need to get a new antenna, and that fader switch, I'll probably grab a replacement one of those just to make sure that that's working okay. So that's just about it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash that like. It'd be great to have you as a subscriber, and hit that notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram down here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.